Now, to address the class, it is my pleasure to introduce our elected student speaker for the class of 2018, Ms. Teresa Fleming.
Hello, class of 2018. Congratulations. You are about to be a high school graduate. When I found out that I was going to be speaking in front of you today, a wave of excitement ran over me. Right away, I started to think of important people in the world right now, themes. I thought of everything a graduation speech should be. I thought about what the community might want to hear about Manchester Valley's class of 2018, and about what our family members want to hear about our accomplishments. I thought about how this speech was supposed to affect others. Yet, as I sat down to write it, I realized one thing. I was forgetting about the class of 2018. I got too caught up in thinking about what everyone else wanted to hear instead of focusing on what deserved to be said. This speech is for you, class of 2018, focusing on our story. Our story is a distinguished one. Class of 2018 may have been our name, but at the start, we were two separate groups. One with the panther as a mascot, and the other, a maverick. We were rival schools that were both deeply embedded into our own traditions. Both classes started our freshman year with respect for the other, but with a sense of difference among each. The thought of unification never even crossed our minds. As a former Panther myself, I was a part of the transition that happened during the fall of 2016. The unification, in part, was forced by staff for slogans, but only truly happened when two student bodies started to work together and bond. My favorite memory of North Carroll High School was the last day of school, my sophomore year. As everyone was boarding their buses to go home on that mournful, yet celebratory day, I decided to cross the street and sit on the hill across from the building. I sat on the hill and watched one bus after another slowly drive away. Messages of luck and love were being passed from staff to student. I realized, as the last bus pulled away and the teachers stopped waving, that a school is not a building. A school is staff, students, and the community coming together to create a place of learning and growth, a home. That place, that new home, has been created at Manchester Valley over the last 2 years, and that is why we are one. Needless to say, our class faced more challenges than just the merger over the past 4 years. Our class had to deal with the growing opioid crisis, teen pregnancy, loss of loved ones, questions of identity, bullying, and gun violence. This was all piled on top of coursework, testing, extracurricular activities, and college preparation. I believe that in a way, that is what life is. Life is handling issue after issue after issue until you are filled to the brim and wondering how you will ever keep going. Life is having change and unexpected problems weigh on your back, but taking a shaky step forward anyhow. A step forward for us meant that we had to become leaders in every realm of our lives. A step forward meant standing up in our own community to demand a change and walk towards a better future. Barack Obama once regarded our generation as the youthful push to make America more just, more compassionate, more equal under law. This generation of Parkland, of dreamers, of Black Lives Matter embraces that duty. If they make their elders uncomfortable, that's how it should be. Our kids now show us what we've told them America is all about, even if we haven't always believed it ourselves. That our future isn't written for us, but by us. As one beloved biology teacher would always remind us in class, we are the next doctors, lawyers, and chiefs. Still, no one can become a success story to be told at future graduations without staying grounded in the lessons they learned to get there. We learn to make the best of change and still provoke change even further in places where difference needed to be found. We are one, a class full of resilience and courage. We must realize that the class of 2018 will be with us for the rest of our lives. However, it will not be a title that's pertinent 10 years from now. We will take on many more titles: student, worker, mother, father, friend, failure, and with equal weight, success. Besides what our occupation will be, we will also live with the titles of scared, happy, stagnant, depressed, or joyous. We will all step out of those doors ready to take on the next role we have chosen to play. Still, the new can be scary. It is terrifying to be facing your future and perhaps not know what role you are going to play, what you should be doing, or who you are even going to be. Toni Morrison described this fear of being one of the crowd as, you're general, but you're also specific. You are your own stories and therefore free to imagine and experience what it means to be human without wealth, what it feels like to be human without domination over others, without reckless arrogance, without fear of others unlike you, without rotating, rehearsing, and reinventing the hatreds you learned in the sandbox. And although you don't have complete control of the narrative, no author does, I can tell you, you could nevertheless create it. Let's continue to create our best narrative. We have already dealt with change, publicly or personally, and have accomplished so much past that. Now we must put our fears behind us and know we can move forward together. Screenwriter Ryan Coogler once wrote, "We all know the truth. More connects us than separates us. But in times of crisis, the wise build bridges, while the foolish build barriers." We must find a way to look after one another as if we are one single tribe. Class of 2018, step confidently into the future. Stay true to yourself. Follow your passions, and know that anything can happen once we recognize that our futures will be bright when we move as one. On behalf of all of the students, thank you to the staff and faculty who have gotten us here. And to the graduates, congratulations.
Thank you, Teresa.